Greetings, Minecrafters, Nonsanity here, and welcome to episode 7 of OmniFactory. I want to get some nice armor, so that's one of the first things I'm going to do. But I did a little bit of circuit making between episodes, so let me show you that. Let's get started. I went down again. I always go down. It's up, up, not down, up. Alright, so what did I do in between? I set up these things over here. Now, first, one of these for assemblers was a fluid melter. What do they call the melter things? These things. Fluid extractor. These are all high voltage. I originally had them over here to hook them onto this guy's high voltage line, but they wanted their own power, so they have their own CEF and numismatic. I'm still mostly using the... this one could use another fuel catalyzer. I'm going to steal the one from over here because it's not in use. Just, you know, it saves on diamonds. But I was melting tin to make everything on the top row except these filters. Each of the three of the filters, the top two and this one over here, I had on the input conduits going into the backs of these things. So I'd put just the right amount of resistors and capacitors and transistors and RAM and wire and, you know, all the other things into these three, into the three assemblers that were here to make 3 levels of circuits, of which only 2 are here still. The third tier 2 and the second tier 3. Because I wanted a lot more of these second tier 3. Yeah, second tier 3 for doing high voltage stuff. Because all the HV machines will take these second tier 3 to make them. Or better ones. I mean, I could do the first tier 3. Wait for it, that one. I could make this one too. But it was possible for me to make the second, so I did. But now I am in the process of switching them all over to make the surface mount diodes. Because from this level on, making circuits with these is just more cost effective. Let's see here. Surface mount diode. These guys. This is a tier 1. You can make a tier 1 and it doesn't require... Well, there's nothing below tier 1. Let's do tier... Yeah, second tier 2. And that does require a previous. Alright, here's the fourth tier 2. So I actually have a cheat sheet here that I made up. So the fourth and final in each tier can be made starting with level 3. It can be made with just these surface mount diodes and some other materials. And that just far more efficient way to make each tier is to make just the fourth version, which doesn't require a tier 3 and a tier 2 and a tier 1, you know, whatever before it. The 2 levels before it. Because every other, like here's the third tier 2, and it requires a tier 1. And if we jump forward here, here's the first of the tier 4s. It requires several tier 3s, and those require several tier 2s, and those require tier 1. Yeah. So if you can get to the point where you can make the fourth variety, it's just far more convenient. Like here, tier 3, fourth tier 3. We may need to get some other materials we don't have, like these fiber reinforced circuit boards, which require the fiber reinforced epoxy resin, copper 4 sulfuric, And these epoxy resin and glass fiber. Glass fiber is borosilicate glass. No, you don't make it from a liquid. It's boron and glass dust. Okay. I've got actually... No, I have borax. Don't know if I have boron. Oh, but you can get boron from borax. And more sodium. That's easy enough. I'm getting the borax from doing some salt, which I'll show you. I'm getting ready for doing this next step. Because even before the fiber reinforced epoxy resin sheet, just to get the capacitors here, you need thin polyvinyl chloride. And the polyvinyl chloride is made from, see, oxygen and vinyl chloride is the better choice. You get twice, half again, 50% more if you use oxygen. I've got oxygen. Vinyl chloride, here we go, is chlorine and ethylene. And we have an ethylene production, but we didn't have a way to make chlorine. So I was looking at ways to make chlorine. And the main way is salt. But I decided to pass it through salt water first because you get a higher return. Get this rock salt out of there. You can use rock salt, right? Yeah. No, that just, you run it through an electrolyzer and you get chlorine. Doesn't need to be here. But yeah, putting salt with water in a mixer gets you salt water. And then running the salt water through an electrolyzer gets you the sodium hydroxide dust and chlorine. Now I've got 602 buckets worth. I bought, I think, 4 stacks of salt ore, and this is the last of it. I ran it through ore washing process over there. That's just like I've had since I first got machines. And then brought it over here, and it's working on it slowly, making the salt water. I guess the electrolyzer is the slow poke. Yeah, it's just slow. But it's also making hydrogen. And I made these reinforced large drums. They can hold like 4,000 buckets. So we're not even a quarter of the way full on those guys. So we've got plenty of room left. And then we'll mix this chlorine with the ethylene that we have in here. Though we'll have to divert some from this process because it's being made here and piped up. Is that correct? Fluid output on orange. This is the one that's making it, right? And that's input on orange up here. Oxygen and ethylene. And the oxygen is coming from here, from sugar. Yep, full up on oxygen. So we'll just have to divert this ethylene temporarily because I got plenty of these plastic sheets for the moment. Mix it with this chlorine, and we can make that vinyl that we need to make the last of the SMD. But before I set that up, see, I remember I did this. What was this? Oh yeah, I was putting some, instead of, I took the plate out of the solidifier to make these sheets of the polyethylene, and was piping the polyethylene up to that ender tank. I was also piping some of the oxygen to there. This polyethylene was being sent over to the circuits because all of these SMDs require polyethylene instead of tin. So that's why I've got this drum that's full. Well, it's got a lot of polyethylene. Good. So all that's been going in there. But it's the ethylene that I need. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and turn off. I'm going to disable this insert. And we'll get a drum. I thought I have a drum here. Spare drum. Somewhere, have I used them all? Guess I've used them all. I'll make one real quick. Drum, just a basic. I have been setting up some automatic crafting recipes. Some iron plates here. And make a drum. And you can see I've been adding more and more. These have just been putting, pumps and motors, and that's the latest one. I've only got one in that one. And I'm just wrapping them around single things. So I'm not worrying about speed yet. I only have one crafter, which has 4 1Ks and 2 4Ks, so I was making large quantities of something, and I kept having to increase it. So I'm going to put this up here, and we're going to set this to orange. And before I let something, did something go in already? No, it's good, it's empty. I'm going to get out my tank. There it is. Go in here, we've got some ethylene, good. Grab the ethylene, pop it in there. Now you can start inserting. I just didn't want the oxygen to get in there. So it's got a tiny little bit, but now whenever this thing finishes, it should go into that drum instead of anywhere else. Yeah, it takes the ethanol. Almost there. Yep. Good. So we'll get ready to mix it with the chlorine. Alright, so what else have I been doing? Like I said, I wanted to get some new armor. So let's see, get this rock salt out of my inventory. And put this away. Oh, I made a drill. The recipe is some energetic alloy gears. I just made it in the fluid solidifier with 4 ingots. I already had a drill core that I found in a chest. I made the diamantine crystal blocks, the void crystal blocks, energetic alloy block. And this diamond drill tip is just steel and diamond plate, so nothing hard to make. And then I made the Speed Augment 1, Inori crystal sugar and Restonia, easy enough. And the Drill Speed 2, which is more sugar and Inori and a cake. I had to go find a cow, made a golden lasso for that. I also have a 3x3, but I'm keeping it somewhere else. Here it is. So again, nothing much different. Some conductive iron wire. But only for that, because I was doing some demolition next door, which is what we're going to go look at now. I made these trial keys. Ender, pearl, 2 diamonds, nuggets, pretty easy. You get a couple of those. And then you make this deep learner. I also got a bow and arrows here. The deep learner, recipe 4, is you make another scanner, low voltage emitter, primitive circuit, lithium battery, and 2 of these monster scanner modules. Not hard. That makes this deep learner. And now we're going to run over here. Run. Too far. It's this one, I think. Yep, zombies. Now you right-click this learner and you put your zombie model in there. And I'm using a self-aware one, so we don't take too long to use this. And now let's go next door, where I cobbled together something. What I've got is a big empty room with something in the middle of it. Let's go up here to my upper story access. Now, that device down there has some requirements as far as spacing. It needs 7 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I had to move this wall and that wall back one. That's why there's no longer windows there. I had to tear down all the windows, tore down the floor. It needs 10 blocks up. Let's grab a block and just stick it here. So 15 by 15 by 10. And the layer beneath the trial keystone has to all be 5 solid blocks. Even the block directly underneath it. I thought I would be able to run pipes out to it to be inserting these keys into it remotely, but it doesn't connect to conduits, and it won't run if the block underneath it isn't solid. This entire floor has to be solid. There can't be anything else on top of it, like vector plates, which would have been really nice to have. But it works without. So, here's what we do. You have to kill a zombie while holding all these. And I had a zombie spawner in my chests from my original searching. I went over to a dark area, dropped it down, a zombie appeared, I picked it back up again, and then killed the zombie. And all of the keys were conditioned to zombie, self-aware. You have to have the zombie thing in the deep learner in your inventory with the keys when you kill the zombie. And now, I think we'll use this one. They all have affixes to them. Loot hoarders, blaze invaders, knockback immunity. Oh, no, don't do that one. Loot hoarders, empowered glitches, blaze invaders, speed, knockback immunity, blaze invaders, regen party, blaze invaders, empowered glitches. I don't really want the blaze invaders because they're going to be harder to kill because they'll be floating up and so forth. But this one with the empowered glitches, that's good. I want glitches. Those are the mobs you want the most here. Loot hoarders just means you get some baby zombies carrying like emerald blocks. No big deal. Thunderdome means there's charged creepers, but they shouldn't be a problem either. So we toss that in here. That sets the trial type to zombie. Because I had a self-aware module in the deep learner when I killed a zombie and set up the keys are self-aware. That means there's going to be 7 waves, and as our reward, we're going to get 3 corrupted glitch hearts, plus any glitch hearts that get dropped by glitches themselves as I kill them. We'll also get some pristine zombie matter. Big whoop. And these are the affixes right there. So we're going to start the trial and get out of here, because I'm going to play it safe. Oop, there's a glitch. Now they shoot at you, so you want to dodge out of their line of sight. There we go. Oh, he didn't drop anything. This seems to be a pretty good way to take him out. The glitches can shoot at you if you're right up here at the front, but you just dodge to the side and wait for them to come up. When they're up close, they can't see you. Same with the charged creepers. If we get some of those, they'll see you from afar and they'll walk up to you, but then they can't see you anymore, and you can just chop at their little feet. Now, there's 2 ways to do it. One like this, where you can't get too close. Pretty much makes it impossible for anything except a glitch to shoot at you. But if you come up like this, then you can get a little closer and get them to come over. Oh, glitch. Ah, he got me. I guess he can't. He goes right through the other ones. There. I got the glitch. He still didn't drop anything, did he? Oh, no, wait. I have 2 of their hearts in my inventory, so I picked them up. Good. Prismarine. Where do you get Prismarine? Come here. Here they come. But you can see over on the side there it says wave 4 of 7. So we're halfway through. We have 3 opponents to go, 2 to go. And we're done. The extra mobs that are added by the affixes, like the witches, the baby zombies, and the glitches, and if we were using one that had it, the blazes, they are not part of the trial itself. You can completely ignore them, and the trial will go on as soon as you kill whatever target mob that you've attuned your keys to, in this case, zombies. The baby zombies are the loot hoarders. What's he got? He's got a gold bar. Loot hoarder was slain by Nonsanity. Oh, we got a glitch. Ah, how did he get me? That must be an area effect when they hit the surface. Another glitch. Can't see him. There he is. The witches can be a pain. You hit them twice like that, and sometimes you have to hit them again. They don't recover all their hit points. Oh, there's a glitch over there. Hey, you see me, glitch? Glitch. Oh, he hit one of the zombies, and then he hits me. Got him. I like using this sword because it has direct, which means whenever you kill a mob, the drops go directly into your inventory. What is that witch shooting? It's not getting me, whatever it is. It's not green, so it doesn't look like poison. But you get out of her field of sight and she'll come on over. One to go. Where is he? Over there. Usually over there. That's why you always have a bow. Got it. And there's my drops inside. When right now I'm just going Spider-Manning up to the wall and coming in from above. Alright. So, I got 7 corrupted glitch hearts. Nice. Yeah, I've never gone out the side door. I keep forgetting it's here. So, let's go back into the base. And over here I put down a block of obsidian. You take these guys and you left-click them on the obsidian. And you get 21 unstable glitch fragments. Nice. Let's drop off some of this stuff. I got diamond ore this time. Oh, don't put the arrows in there. Is there more arrows in there? I'm just going to put those over here, the rest of these over there, and the bow. And I'll toss that in there too. Keep the sword. Alright, now what do you do with these unstable glitch fragments? Well, you get some gold and some lapis. And you run over to some water. You toss the gold and the lapis and the fragments in there. Get some green particles. And there we go. We got these glitch-infused ingots. That is what I want. And I think there's a chance of a failure as they're being converted. Not every single one will be... There, particle's gone. Well, no, I did get 21, so I got as many as I was supposed to get. Don't think that always happens, but it's pretty good. Alright, so... And I have some from previous bouts, too. Let's make some armor. Pants. Oh, I put the excess back. And boots. Take these off, put these on. Creative flight. Yeah. Very nice. This will be handy. I don't think they come with any other special abilities. 80% chance to drop 2 prismarine matter when a data model gains data. Well, I'm not going to be gaining any data. We're just going to put it back in the machine, which I got to remember to do. Flight and immunity against fall damage. That's it. And they're about diamond armor levels, really. So I'll take this back out, open it up, get the zombies out of it. And go and put them back in here. Continue producing iron. Alright, everything else has been running. Now, one of the materials we need is magnesium. It's used... What was it used for? Ah, yes, it's used for making titanium. And we'll be getting to that soon. But I was looking at how to make magnesium. And I'm always looking for anything that is completely renewable. So I thought, every material that comes out, I look at all the ways to get it. Asbestos, magnesite, obsidian dust. All right, we can make it from obsidian dust because we can get that from the deep mob farm. For every 12, you get 1. That's not bad. But then I saw another one here. Biotite dust. And I knew biotite dust can be electrolyzed from black granite dust, and that can be electrolyzed from, pulverized from granite. Granite can be made by combining diorite with nether quartz. Nether quartz can be made from electrolyzing sand, right? Yep, electrolyzing glass, which comes from sand, which comes from gravel, which comes from cobblestone. And the diorite can be made from quartz and cobblestone. So basically, you can get magnesium dust from cobblestone. So I set up an experiment. Here it is. What we've got is a cobblestone generator, macerating into gravel, macerating into sand. Some of that sand gets cooked into glass. Some of that glass gets cooked into nether quartz. Now over here, we take some of the cobblestone and some of the nether quartz, and we make diorite. Then we take the diorite and more of the quartz, and it makes the granite. You macerate the granite. There you go. You get the black granite dust. You electrolyze the black granite dust once you get 4 of them. And that gets you silicon dioxide and biotite. And the biotite, once you get enough, gives you all these things. It gets you, thorium, potassium, magnesium, aluminum, and silicon. And of course you're getting the silicon dioxide as well from this previous step. You also get oxygen and fluorine. So all these materials are coming from the cobblestone gen plus some power. And this one is all efficiency. And it's more than enough to keep this going. Oh, and on the back here, there's one more. I sped it up with a little bit more glass production. Looks like I can probably use a third one. Because this seems to be the slowest part, is the nether quartz. This one's filled up with diorite, so he's done. And he's got a limiter on him, limiting him to just a stack of quartz and a stack of cobblestone. And this one's got a limiter of just one stack of diorite and a stack of quartz. And that's definitely the slow part. So I might make another advanced electric furnace. And these are all HV. Right? Yeah. This is an HV system. So in these mechanical crafters, I made 2 more of the water mills just to make sure I had plenty of power for these things. I don't think they're using much. It says grid power 0 of 32, which is strange. Oh, they're using 0 of 32. Okay, because they're not running at the moment. And I must have only 2 of them. I have a space for a third, but okay, I only made 1 more water mill. So I have 2 water mills giving me 16 each. That's 32. So yeah, maybe I'll make 1 more electric furnace just to speed this thing up again. But it's getting about... hasn't been 24 hours yet, I don't think. Well, not since I had it running completely at full speed. I had a couple of mistakes. I hadn't planned on having so much of this, and so it didn't have any upgrades, and it got stopped at 2,000. Now it's already at 12,000. It's been less than a day, and this went up from like 77, I think, to 411. That's, again, it's been less than a day. And we've got 1,300 buckets of oxygen and 274 buckets of fluorine. Not even sure what fluorine is used for, if it has any uses. Fusion reactions, hydrofluoric, that is used for something. So yeah, this can be useful. Yeah, the elemental reduction fluid, which I don't really need now, because I already made a small batch of it once manually to get the powder I needed to make the thermal mob. So I guess it isn't used for much right now. Eventually need some to make the mote of omnium. Yeah, so that's another nice little setup that's just using a raw material and power and generating lots of useful materials. And I'll probably move it downstairs now that I know that it's working. Oh, Eric? Yeah, here's my cow. Might as well get these eggs while I'm up here. I'll take that too, since I was just using it to get seeds to make these guys breed. Got 2 seeds. You and you. Have a baby. On me. Don't get egg on me, though. Yay, flight. All right. Put all that away. What next? I think we're going to try and make a... Do I need to make more circuits? So far, I've been doing all my designing in a way that doesn't require applied energistics with machines. You notice the only thing I'm using AE for is the rote crafting of stuff, like all these parts. because that's time-consuming and boring. I can fly. I can't double jump anymore. So, the reason is, I mean, you can slap an interface next to one of these machines, give it patterns, and then when you ask for plates, if you stuck, on a compressor, and you have different plate material recipes in there, and you can ask your system for plates, and it'll send the individual ingots over here to be pressed, and then back to you. This takes time, which I don't like. I'd rather pre-make a lot of the material that I need. And also, it's not sustainable in the end game. In other words, looking at these future recipes, like this omnium thing here, it makes an eternal catalyst, which makes these infinity ingots, and these are used to make lots of other stuff. Making a lot of the end game materials requires so much crafting that your AE system will suck up the entire server's worth of CPU power and make the game unplayable. Especially if you have auto crafting going on, like it automatically keeps levels, so it starts crafting things. I don't want my AE system to do that. What I'm going to do is like what I have over here, where you either like over with the salt over there or over here, I put in the raw materials and it just generates the final result from the raw materials until it runs out of the raw materials. Like here, it made 5,000 of these resistors because I put in a whole bunch of these two materials. Made 1,400 of these things, so I put in a bunch of these raw materials. It made 1,664 of these diodes because I put in the raw materials. Has not made any of these because I don't have the other material yet. But I'll make these available to the system, but not auto-craftable by it. Now, I may have the raw materials get piped in here automatically if they're not used for anything else. Like, I don't think there's anything else that uses fine platinum wire. Just this, there's a bunch of assembler recipes, diodes. One of the other circuits uses it. It's just assembler recipes. You can melt it down. You can use an assembly line. You can macerate it back to dust. So it's really just going to be used with assemblers. So I have no problem sending all of it over here. I think it's the same with this fine annealed copper wire. Speaking of which, I rejiggered. I had a fluid output hatch, but I swapped it for the fluid input hatch. And then put oxygen. Did I put it over here? No. Oh, here it is. I put this guy, which is connected to that one up there. So the sugar that's creating oxygen goes into there and comes to this one. I stuck that one up there so that it flooded it with oxygen and then gave it copper in its input. And that made annealed copper. This stuff. So oxygen and copper gets you annealed copper. And the reason why I've got 16 left is because I put in like 4 stacks, but I took 16 out. And when those 4 stacks were done, I took off the ender tank, and there was 16 buckets of oxygen left. So I put the last 16 copper in and it cleared this out. So I was just doing, I'll do batches of things. Like here, I've already got hot canthal ingots because it's just canthal dust in the blast furnace. And that's aluminum, iron, and chrome. Trivial. So I made a bunch. But it's the hot type, and I can't do anything with it yet until I make a freezer. So, let me see about making a freezer, and we'll be right back. Alright, to make the freezer, this guy, we do need a tier 4 circuit, which would probably be the first, and that does require the capacitors, which require the polyvinyl sheets, foil, which requires the polyvinyl fluid, which needs to be mixed with air and chlorine. Chlorine first, the ethylene. So we've got our ethylene tank. I went ahead and piped it also into an ender tank. So let's come over here and set up a new stack. Yeah, do it here. We'll put, no, one more. No, that's right. Right here. We'll put down a high voltage, no, yeah, over here. Decisions. High voltage CEF and a numismatic set to low power but high efficiency. Can insert so it gets diamonds. That's going to give it power. It doesn't have any batteries, but that's okay for the moment. Take some 4X Vibrant and stack it up 3 high, I think. Put down an advanced chemical reactor and another one up here. Now I want the ethylene to go down into this guy. And he's also going to need where does it get the oxygen from? Where did it get oxygen from? Was this guy getting oxygen? Oh, look at that. I guess I need a fluid filter. Yeah, because oxygen, it's not, yeah. My bad. Oxygen. Frame rate's a little off to see what's going on. No, we want ethylene. Polyethylene, ethylene. Ethylene only. And now all that you've got in you, oh, come back here. Don't have a fluid trash can somewhere. Yeah, over here. Oh, it's empty. I guess it all got into this tank. But now the tank is empty too, because it all went in the machine. So I didn't have to do that at all. I just had to come over here, put it back. It should now just get ethylene. It's just that this machine, yeah. Alright. One thing about switching my inventory to the glitch is I no longer have the inventory in my boots, which sort of sucks. Get that out. There we go. We're making vinyl chloride and hydrochloric acid. So I put this back on top. So it should just have the ethylene in it. Yes, it does. And so you can push down. Alright, now I'm going to empty you out in a little bit. Next, I've got another one here. This one is the oxygen. Put him up on top. Pipe it down. How'd this guy get ethylene in him? Alright, I guess I have to empty this out sooner than I thought. Put you down. Extract. Bye-bye oxygen. It's smoother when I go inside. Probably an efficiency thing in the code. Don't need to update as often if you're not actively looking at it. I think this one had ethylene because I had tested this before. Did I? I'm not sure if I did or not. But there, now all the ethylene is in the system. All right. Put away the tank. Fluid conduits. All right, disconnect. Actually, I don't need that one up there. He can just push down. All right, we're going to be extracting on a different color here. And we're going to be inserting in that color, but I think it's going to need another filter. All right, where's the filter? I just had one, didn't I? Oh, yeah, they're there. Because I only want... trace back. I say recipe for that. Recipe, 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 recipe. The vinyl chloride. That one in here. Okay, vinyl chloride. Good. So now I can start extracting here. And only the vinyl chloride should be getting piped up. It's got more ethylene in it. Oh, is this guy pushing up? Really? I thought they only pushed down. Alright, I'll take better control of it then. On the north side, I'm going to extract on green, which only goes down here. So now I need to get my tank out again. Pick you up. Put you down here. Alright, vinyl chloride. Extracting on brown. Oh, had to change this one. No extraction there. Alright, now it's getting the vinyl chloride, and it should be making... Oh, I need a program circuit to 0. Circuit program to 0. Polyvinyl chloride. Excellent. And this thing is also creating hydrochloric acid, so I'm going to need somewhere for that to go. What is that useful for? Can make chlorine out of it. Get the chlorine back. Half of it. That's probably a good idea. If I add a... I'm going to move the tanks. I think I'm going to... So I'm not going to rely on them, their own pushing out feature. Yeah, I know I probably lost materials, but... Is that what I want to do? And then I'll have one more to send back. And then... See, I'm always improving my systems whenever possible. So now I'll have the oxygen and the polyvinyl up here. That is the polyvinyl, or the, that's chlorine. How did it just get filled up with chlorine? Oh, because they start off being insert. I hate that. Extract. And you stop extracting. but you won't run until you get more ethylene, and that's the ethylene input. See, that just tangled everything. All right, get out my tank again. Oh, I still have it. And if we just slap you over here, you'll get filled up with ethylene. But from this guy, right? Yes. So now he's got ethylene now, so that's what he's supposed to have. And this one, do the same thing. No insert, only extract on green. You extract on green. Though actually, for the oxygen, that'll now be insert on blue. Oop. So you are now extract on blue. Alright, so yep, he's getting the oxygen he needs. And he needs the ethylene, which is still in there. Extract on green. Insert on green. Where to get water? What is going on here? You, what do you have in you? Oxygen. And you? Ethylene. Well, where the heck did you get water? This is not connected to anything else. I don't know what I have in here. Chlorine. Get rid of your chlorine. Yeah, where'd you get water? All right, I'm going to break you again. Can this oxygen one... He's on orange, but he doesn't have a filter. Let me give him a filter so that he only gets oxygen. Oxygen. Advanced rocketry or nuclear craft? I'm going to assume nuclear craft. And now pop him in here. Okay, he's got oxygen, he's got polyethylene, and he's got ethylene. Polyethylene's on gray. I think that's the only thing that comes in on gray. All right, so this one should never have anything but oxygen, which it has, and this one has the ethylene. All right, good. So you've got ethylene and chlorine, and you've got water again. I'm assuming that's been fixed. Are you expert on brown? Oh, you got to go back to being brown. And then you are expert on brown. You don't have any more oxygen? 0 of oxygen. Okay, it's working on it. I just drained the oxygen from the system too fast. All right, now it's got oxygen. And vinyl chloride. And it's not... Oh, it needs the chip. There we go. Polyvinyl chloride, finally. Now, what was it to use up this hydrochloric? We need a electrolyzer to split it back, and I can put it back in the other two. So let's go make an electrolyzer. have that one patterned. So let's pattern it. HV Electrolyzer. There we go. Make the pattern. Toss it in here. I still have not made the terminal that lets you address them, but I haven't really needed it yet. So, electrolyzer, make one. Am I out of those circuits? I guess it just didn't register the correct ones. Let me redo the pattern with the right circuit. Put it back in. Guess I don't have any more of them. Or are they called arrays? They're called arrays. They're the ones I'm currently making. So now I can order one. Go. There it is. Just took me a moment to find it. So I'm going to run you over here. And as soon as I put you down, everything's going to try and insert into you, which is a pain. So let me... There's nothing much I can do about it. Good, it didn't get anything. Because we're outputting on brown the hydrochloric. So I'm going to need another filter. So when you're getting these double fluids, you have to filter everything. So, on you... Oh wait, you already have a filter. Oh, that's right, because that was where the other one was. Alright, we'll just change your filter to be, what was it? Hydrochloric. This guy. Alright, and insert. Okay, he's running. He's making hydrogen and chlorine. So now, and this guy's empty, we're going to make you insert on purple. And you insert on purple. And you extract on purple. So this will put those fluids back into the drums, which will be fine until those drums fill up. Then this one, if it backs up, might stop. Alright, so where are we? We've got 5 buckets of polyvinyl chloride. Now I just need to solidify it. You know, if I'd raised this up one more, I could have the solidifier on the stack. Let me do that. Alright, I moved those two guys up a little bit higher. Made a fluid solidifier. Oh, I ran out of... Or I put away the power cable. Just need one. I want to make some more. There you go. And we're going to tell you to output upwards. But you don't have anything at the moment. Why do you have hydrochloric acid in you? You're inserting brown. Oh no, wait, yeah, you're not going to output upward. You're outputting to the side. Yeah, you're the recycler. You have the final polyvinyl chloride. So you are going to extract not on green, but on light blue. And then up here, oh, wrong one, wrong wrench. Insert on light blue. There we go. Hey, we got polyvinyl chloride sheets. And now I can run them over here, right to the advanced cluster mill. And that makes the thin polyvinyl chloride sheets. Whoa, I got lots of tin alloy foil. That made a lot more than I thought it would. Yeah, when you make it thin, you get a lot more out of it. And that will be our final part over here. So now, does he have his filter already installed? He does not. But I've got some blanks, I think, right here. So we'll take this guy, SMD. So I'm doing the capacitor, right? So it's aluminum foil and thin polyvinyl. 1 and 4 of those. So now we run to the back, pop it in here, make sure it looks good, turn it on. And there it goes, making SMD capacitors. And we can just tell it to output to the top. Oh, but it won't until I put at least some in here. There it goes. All right, we've got all 4 of the SMDs. And I think we have a full episode. So we use deep mob learning to make a new set of armor that gives us creative flight. Got a bunch of machines making additional materials. Got the chlorine, now we've got the polyvinyl sheets being produced, and I will probably put a drawer here and pipe them out into that drawer just to fill the empty space. Yep, that looks good. We've got all the surface mount chips. Now we can start making other processors. And because that's what we need for the freezer, is that tier 4. Let's see, this is the first. 4th. Yeah, the 4th would be the ideal one to make, but it requires the fiber reinforced circuit board, and that requires this, which requires that. Epoxy resin. Acetone. Yeah, I'll have to figure out how to make that. And this is just the electrum foil and the fiber reinforced. So maybe we can do it. Qubit CPU. Oh, it needs a quantum eye. Nano CPU array for gallium arsenide in a chemical reactor. This. Radon. Mercury. Looks like we got some rabbit hole stuff there, but I might just target this quantum circuit to be our tier 4 and just start making the straight tier 4s instead of coming in at the easy end. I can definitely make this one. Now that I've got all the pieces. I probably will make some of these. 10. So I'll make some more assemblers for doing... I'll make at least one more assembler to make these for now. And then we can make the freezer. I think that's a good idea. But that'll have to wait till next time because we have definitely hit the end of an episode. Oh, I'm all green now. Or sort of turquoise. Look like I come out of the southwest. All right, so this is Oh, before we go, come out and take a look at this. This sucker had been running since the episode I put it together. And I do about 1 episode a week, generally. Maybe a little less than a week. But it was completely backed up. It had too much rubber, or the resin. So I had to make a second resin, and now I've got 459,000 wood, 108,000 saplings, and then 2. This one is full up. I mean, full up. It can't hold any more. 768 stacks. It's got 768 stacks. And then it started filling up this one as well. When this thing reached completely full, that's when I just took away these and left that to stagnate. So we are not producing trees anymore. We got too many. Then again, in this pack, too many is not a bad thing, except when it comes to import-export crafting buses and interfaces in AE. I really want to try and minimize it by keeping individual stacks for things going. But we'll see. There'll have to be a balance struck. And where that balance is, I'm not yet sure. So, until next time, this is Nonsanity signing out. Take care, be good, and see you next time.